In this video, we are going to talk about the conjunction of two of the biggest planets, Saturn and Jupiter. So keep watching. Namaste and welcome to Pramanic Astrology channel. Before we start our video, I want to tell you I am conducting a free live training for more than 3 hours. I'll be conducting from the basic of astrology to the advanced techniques to take you from knowing nothing to start making predictions in 3 hours, and even if you have no prior background to Vedic astrology. So, and it's absolutely free. You just have to reserve your spot. So link is in the description, or you can get it into my website. Check out my website, or I will share it in community tab. Just reserve your spot and be ready on 15th of January 2022, 11 a.m. Indian Standard Time. See you then. Jupiter conjunct Saturn. What is Jupiter and what is Saturn? And what are the effect of this conjunction? Okay, so the first thing is Jupiter is the planet which signifies wisdom, knowledge, abundance, optimism, and wealth as well. Along with Venus, Jupiter also represents wealth in one's chart. For women, Jupiter also represents your husband. Jupiter is the planet which represents the wisdom we get or the teachings of our parents, especially father. Okay, and Jupiter is also the planet of values, virtues, moral, spirituality, and all that is good and positive in one's life. Abundance can be seen with Jupiter. Okay, and Jupiter is also the guru, the guru of the devas. Let's talk about the Saturn. Saturn is exactly opposite, the polar opposite of the Jupiter. Okay, there are some polarities in the planet, like Mars is masculine planet. Venus on the other side is a polar opposite of it and is a feminine planet. Then we have another pair of Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter is all about the positivity, optimism, and Saturn is all about the negativity in one's life. Yes, Saturn is about the negativity. I always talk about raising the vibrations and becoming the true self. The biggest positive thing one can do in one's life is embracing the negativity. Once you identify and embrace the negativity, that is the biggest positive step one can take in one's life to get ahead in life. Saturn shows you the reality. Saturn is the planet of karma. Jupiter is the planet of wealth and abundance, but he does not qualify you. He does not see if you are really capable of it or not. Saturn, on the other hand, makes you work and makes you be competent to deserve what you're seeking or what you're asking for. So Saturn represents all kinds of difficulties, disabilities, and dependencies in one's life. This Saturn shows the reality of one's life. And once you know this reality, then it will give you the success. Saturn is also the planet of fear. Jupiter is the planet of the positivity and optimism. Saturn is the planet of fear and pessimistic approach. Okay, Jupiter is the planet of higher belief, and Saturn is the planet of doubt. Okay, Saturn always doubts, just like scientists, right? Or anybody with a logical mind. But Saturn is an intelligent planet. Always remember, it's an air element planet, and he is all about the intelligence. The only thing is, he is more about the security rather than uh, higher belief and optimism like Jupiter. Okay, now what happens when you have Jupiter conjunct with Saturn in your birth chart? Okay, so the first thing, this is one of the most significant and heavyweight conjunction, I would say, in one's chart. Why? Because Saturn, Jupiter, and Rahu are the most important planets which take longer duration to move from one Rashi to other, right? So their transits, their dasha, their conjunction, everything matters and have a deeper impact in one's chart. So when you have Saturn and Jupiter conjunct with your chart, the first thing which happens is it makes you a humble person. It makes you a structured person. And depending upon the degrees of the planet, which one is getting the strength, the outcome might change. But the point here is the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn makes person grounded, makes person humble, and it restricts that person to daydream. Okay, sometimes what happens with Jupiter is when you have a Jupiter, a dominant Jupiter, even though Jupiter is optimistic, over optimism might make you overlook the reality. You might have a problems in your life with relationship, with finances, and you're just daydreaming about the future, daydreaming about the spirituality, about the higher beliefs, and what's happening inside you, what's happening in front of you. You're not able to pay the bills, you're not secure enough in your life. All the spirituality or the higher belief won't help you, but Saturn does. Saturn shows you the reality. He will tell you, no matter what you talk about, when you talk about spirituality and higher belief, I want you to pay the bills. I want you to be secure. That's it. That's why the distrust, the fear, and the workaholicness comes into Saturn dominated person. Okay, that's why I always believe that Saturn is the planet which will give you the real success. Okay, Venus can give you money, Jupiter can give you money, right? Rahu can give you money, but when Saturn gives you money, that is the ultimate. Like nobody can take that away from you because you have passed all the tests, you have passed all the challenges, and now you deserve to own that amount of money. Okay, that's the power of Saturn. That's the beauty of Saturn being the planet of karma, as well as I call it the planet of success and wealth as well. The wealth which will remain with you. Nobody can take away from you that kind of wealth. Okay, and Jupiter is the planet which is about expansion, and Saturn is the planet which is about restriction. So when you have a conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn together, it shows a person who is grounded. More than that, he is not a risk taker. You won't see these people taking too many risks because the Saturn is controlling the over optimism of Jupiter, is making him be real. Okay, and it helps these people. Okay, Jupiter is the planet which represents the higher belief and higher education as well, and Saturn is the planet which shows long working hours, or working for longer period of time. So these people tend to work for longer period of time, for maybe maybe they are lawyer, because law is also connected with Saturn, and Jupiter is also about the wisdom. So you might see these people working as an advocate or attorney, right? And they are always continuously working in a law for longer period of time and getting the knowledge. Okay, so these people like to be humble, grounded, continuously working. Okay, and a mature personality. You will get the best of both worlds, of optimism, the controlled optimism of Jupiter, and you also get the divine blessings of Saturn to continuously work towards your dream, along with the abundance of Jupiter. Excellent combination. When you have Jupiter and Saturn conjunction, the Mahadasha of these two planets become extremely important. Okay, because now you will be under the influence of this conjunction for almost like 19 years of Saturn and 16 years of uh, 16 years of Jupiter. So almost 35 years of your life your life will revolve around this combination. The house is ruled by this combination. The house is ruled by Jupiter. The house is ruled by Saturn, as well as the placement of this conjunction in your chart. And you will have back to back Mahadashas of Jupiter and Saturn for 35 years. So let's say you have a well placed, well dignified Saturn Jupiter conjunction in your chart. Let's say you have Saturn and Jupiter conjunction into the sign of Capricorn, where Saturn gets into its own sign and Jupiter gets into the debilitated sign. Okay, but at the same time, the sign of Capricorn is also the sign of finance, the Artha Trikon sign, and two of these big planets in here will make this person work consistently towards his goals. Okay, the debilitation of the Jupiter makes that person practical and gives him advancement in the finance field as well. And when it comes to the Saturn into the Capricorn, it brings in the structure, it brings in the fundamental changes in one's life. You will be surprised to know that even in the January 2020, we had Saturn conjunct Jupiter into the transit. Okay, and you saw that we had so many fundamental changes in the way we look at world, the way we live, right? That's what Saturn does. So the most important thing with this conjunction is the dignity of the conjunction. You also have to check the dignity into the D9 from the moon and the placement of this conjunction. Let's say you have this placement of this well dignified conjunction into the first house in Capricorn, or let's say into the uh, first house into the Pisces. Okay, then you get the strength to either of these planets. Okay, and you also have to check the D9 placement, and you also have to check the moon nakshatra. Why you have to check the moon nakshatra? Because moon nakshatra will determine the first Mahadasha for your self, right? And then you would know that what are the dates, what are the age limit at which these two planets are having back to back dasha and will be influencing me throughout my life for the 35 years of period, right? So you would know that whether it's from 20 to next 35 years, or 10 to next 35 years, or from 45 to the next 35 years, right? It depends upon the moon nakshatra and the degrees of the moon nakshatra. Okay, because the degree of the moon nakshatra will determine your Mahadasha and your Mahadasha sequence as well. Okay, so yes, this was Saturn Jupiter conjunction, as much as I could hold, grasp and share with you guys. If you want to learn Vedic astrology step by step, I am conducting 3 hours live training on 15th January 2022, 11 a.m. Indian Standard Time. Register it for free and see you on the other side. Sending you tons of positive energy, sending you high vibrations. See you in the next videos. Love and peace. Namaste.